Hey, this is VL here with an owner-operator's day off, and it's another blacksmith episode. There's a huge demand for DIY brake drum forges and all the different accompanying stuff. I'm actually upgrading my forge, my brake drum forge from, I had some 3-inch galvanized on there. You can see there's only a little portion of it that was subjected to the high heat where the galvanized coating would burn off, and it burned off over whatever, eight months I think this lasted me. Anyway, and then I had just a little built-in, a little air flap here, air control valve. I use a fart fan, Home Depot, 17 bucks. The brake drum, I can't pick up anything right now because I've had surgery. Let me show it to you real quick though, because it's actually a rotor. Let's see if you can see it down there. It's a rotor, and it's actually a combination rotor and brake drum. I think it's off of a pickup truck where when they have the rear disc brakes, they will have brake shoes inside for the emergency brake. That's what I think is going on here. They have brake pads outside for stopping, and then brake shoes inside the drum for the emergency brake. Anyway, that gives you a nice thick wall. It's probably 3/4 of an inch thick. It's worked great. It's got a large diameter opening. But in short, so the brake drum came from the garage I get my son's car worked on. I asked the guy if he had a scrap pile. He said, yep, the more you take, the less I have to haul off. So, and that's also a good source for coil springs. I went back there and got some coil springs not too long ago. And like I said, they don't care. Ask them, of course, but I couldn't imagine them telling you no, because they ain't gonna call somebody to get it. Anyway, so my forge lasted 8 months with this, a fart fan. Right here, this aluminum HVAC tape is my, that's my little door to clean out my clinkers, anything that fell through my screen. Oh yeah, the top of my screen was, where did I sit it? Hold on just a second. Okay, this is what I was using for the screen to keep stuff from falling through. There you go, $6, Home Depot. Stainless steel, and it worked great. There's no way to clean it out, but you have to, when it starts clogging up, you really mess up your fire, your hot spot in your fire, getting it cleaned off, and that was the only drawback to it. So, but what I wanted to show everybody was, once you get to the point, if you have a black iron pipe connection, go that route. For me, this stuff is real expensive, and when I mean real expensive, I mean the T and the few little pieces I bought. I think I spent $75 on it. So if you have to, just go this route. Grind the galvanized off if you're worrying about it, about 4 inches away, and then you never have to worry about it. But like I said, my forge was operated outside, and it took 8 months to burn that off. So the ratio of air to time and everything else, not a, I was not for 1 minute worried about it. So if you can go black iron, you can. Anyway, I wanted to show you a cheap, really cheap airgate I made. Now I do have a welder, so I was able to weld these little tabs on there. Let me see if I can hold it up. I'm getting used to doing this video again for you. But anyway, so we've got the gate, and it's actually going to mount upside down like this. And the reason it looks so funky is because I haven't finished cutting it down, but I just thought the idea came to me, and all I did is I take this coupler, and like I said, it's a 2-inch coupling. It's a gender bender because it's male to male, so it turns the male into a pipe into a female end, or it's just a coupling. If I'm from the audio world, so in the audio world, an XLR cable, this would be a gender bender because it would allow you to plug 2 male ends together. Anyway, enough of that. Back to blacksmithing. Anyway, this airgate, real simple. I took my grinder and I ground in with the thin, I think it's that's a real thin Diablo cut wheel you can get at Home Depot. This, I'm not sure what gauge it is, but it's a piece of an exhaust stack from a semi-truck. The flap, it's a piece of an exhaust stack from my truck. Let's see, I think you can see the marks on there. All I did was scribed a semicircle with my calipers, and basically I cut as close as I could with the grinder cutoff wheel, and then I used all I have for a belt sander is a 3x21 handheld belt sander that I lock in the vise, and that right now is my sander, and I used it to get this nice smooth circle, and you can see that with just a little patience I was able to get it to close. Trying to find it, everything's backwards here, and it's a nice airtight seal. Let's see if we can see that. There we go, airtight seal. And like I said, the only reason this is still crazy is because I don't know how I'm going to mount the pull rod to it yet. Anyway, so there's your nice cheap airgate. So I can turn my fart fan on now and leave it on, because the other airgate I had did not block all the airflow. So I have a switch on the front of my forge. I flip it off when I pull the part out, and I walk back to the forge and close it. Now, instead of burning up all the coal, I can just close the airgate, leave the fan run, and when I get back to the forge and put material in it, I can open the air up and get it going. Let's see. I'm doing a klinker breaker. Let me see if I can throw this together in a decent amount of time. It's a budget klinker breaker. So essentially what I've done, I don't know where the screw is for it. Essentially what you see is a part that I've made. This was probably a 1 by 3/4 inch piece of bar stock, or a 1 1/4 by 3/4 inch piece of square bar. I flattened it out some, terrible forging, but I was using a propane forge to heat it because my coal forge was down and I could never get that good nice yellow forging heat, so it's got some terrible forging going on there. Let's see, the machinery I did use to get that hole through the middle was a drill press, but it's a Lowe's bought drill press, so it's a home consumer grade drill press. It's not anything super out there. And basically what that'll do, let me put this together real quick. Is I hate dead time, but it happens. Well, essentially what it's going to do in there is, that's going to be my klinker breaker now. This is a 2-inch mount. They call it a floor mount, I think, for a 2-inch pipe. And I just drilled a hole through there. This is 3/8 bar stock, and I've got a screw hole there, but I haven't cut the screw down yet, tapped it, so I'm going to put the screw in, so I'll be able to take this back apart if need be. And what I am going to do is drill a couple holes in here, sort of on an angle so it blows the air out that way and this way more, so I get more of a elongated hot pocket in my forge is what I'm wanting or hoping happens. And let's see, so there's my klinker breaker, as opposed to when I had none, so it would clog up and I'd use my poker, and when I had to use my poker it messes up the you kind of get that sweet spot in your forge you like to forge with, and I know there's a term for it and it's not coming to me, but you get that nice pocket of heat in hot coal, and when you have to go in there with the poker and scrape it off, it's horrible. It messes up your whole, messes up everything. You end up, your air's blowing out one other way and your hot jet comes up. I may cut that part out because I'm going on, but anyway, so there you go. There's a few little pointers for budget brake drum forge. Like I said, the brake drum works awesome, the one that I have, and I'm going to drill just a couple holes in it to mount that floor mount for the 2-inch pipe. I'm just going to bolt it right to the bottom of it. What I use to hold it all is and it's my biggest expense other than now the black iron pipe. When I made the forge, I had like, $6 or $8 in the galvanized stuff, $17 in the fart fan, and I bought a parts cart from Harbor Freight, their metal parts cart from Harbor Freight. I want to say $50 or $60. I cut a hole in it, set the brake drum in it. There you go. Actually, it's a brake rotor. Set the brake rotor in that cutout. I used snips to do it. I scribed a mark and used 10 snips to cut the hole in it, nothing fancy. And that was it. So I was forging my first piece of steel for under, I think, where are we at there? 60 plus 17, 77 plus another $7. It was $84, and Tennessee Tech's probably put it at $90. So I was heating metal and forging for under $90. Lasted me 8 months, and because I use it quite a bit and do enjoy it, I feel like it's time to put some more money into it. So I'm switching over to the black iron. Clearly the next step will be a nicer cart, and then but that'll be my next upgrade probably a year or 8 months from now, if I continue in blacksmithing, will be to purchase a fire pot and probably build my own more solid cart. And right now I enjoy the cart because I wheel it outside and use it, and we'll just see how we go, see how serious this becomes for me, and we'll go from there. Anyway, that's about all I got for you. It's been a long time since I put any videos up, but there's a whole bunch of issues going on with the company I work for, where drivers were getting themselves in trouble by videotaping them doing the wrong thing. So we're pretty much leaving our videos, our owner-operators day off videos are not truck related so much anymore. They're pretty much blacksmith related. I haven't done any prospecting this year, so there's no new gold finds. I think my last video, prospecting video, was up. I put up in 15. I don't think I prospected in 16 at all. So most of 16, my spare time was occupied in blacksmithing. And for those of you that are wondering, I don't really want to be another knife maker. There's plenty of very skilled knife makers out there that eat, sleep, and breathe their trade, and that's good. And they make some beautiful designs and do some beautiful work. But probably not something you'll see from me. If you see a knife from me, I may do like I'm sure it's inevitable, a railroad spike, decorative type railroad spike knife. At some point I will do some Damascus. Whether or not I try and put it in a blade, I don't know. There's a couple different little things I'd like to do with Damascus that doesn't involve sharp edges. But mostly my interest is in ornamental ironwork and like tavern, what is it, the blacksmith puzzles or the tavern puzzles, and jewelry. I've been practicing pendants. Chandler Dickinson makes an excellent kissing horses horseshoe. I come up with a 5-gallon bucket of horseshoes, so I've been working on my version of a kissing horses horseshoe. Let's see. And anyway, that's some stuff you can look forward to seeing from me. And anyway, until the next time, drive safe out there. And let's see, I can't even remember what I used to say. It's been so long. Yeah, well, hope you enjoyed another episode of the Owner Operator's Day Off. And be safe, drive safe, and Happy New Year to everyone.